Lesson 7.3, Multiplying and Dividing Rational Expressions. So rational expressions are ones that we've said before are written as fractions. And to be simplified, the numerator and denominator can have no common factors. Well, if that's the case, the steps to simplify then would be to factor the numerator and denominator, and then you cancel common factors. Any factor that's in the top and on the bottom, you can cancel out. So let's simplify this one, page 374, number 5. So on the top, let's start by factoring that one, and we look and see, are there any common factors? There's not. And so there's 3 terms, so I'm going to use 2 sets of parentheses. Say what times what makes x squared, x times x. What times what makes 18. And I'd really like it to add to be 11 in the middle, so how about 9 and 2? Then we double check. Outers is 2x, inners are 9x, 2x plus 9x make 11x, which is in fact the middle, so we factored correctly. The bottom is check for common factors. There's not any. So then it's 2 terms, which means special patterns, which is a difference of squares, sum of cubes, and difference of cubes. Well, looking at this, I see the cube and a plus, so let's say sum of cubes. So that pattern is a cubed plus b cubed equals a plus b times a squared minus ab plus b squared. In this case, a is x and b is 2, because 2 cubed is 8. So it'll be a plus b, a squared minus a times b plus b squared. 2 squared is 4. And you could try to factor that more. It doesn't. So then we look and see what's the same on the top and the bottom. Oh, look, the x plus 2. And then whatever's left, we write out. You must cancel entire factors. I can't just look at this and cancel an x, because the entire factor is x plus 9, or the x squared minus 2x plus 4 is one entire factor. You have to cancel entire factors, not just pieces of the factors. Why don't you try number 1? Pause this while you do it. The answer should be 2x over 3x minus 4. So then now that we know how to simplify, we can multiply rational expressions, which is very similar to simplifying. You need a factor, because we'll end up simplifying, so we might as well factor right away. Then we're going to multiply across the top and the bottom, and this will be the simplest multiplication you've ever done in your life. And then you'll cancel any factors that are in the top and the bottom. For example, let's try page 374, number 15. All right, factor all of them, so I'm going to start in the top left and look for a common factor. There isn't any. And there are 3 terms, so that's 2 sets of parentheses. Say what times what makes x squared, and what times what makes negative 4. And I like it to add to be the middle, so maybe plus 4 times negative 1. And you check. The outers are negative x, the inners are 4x, negative 1x plus 4x is 3x, so that means we did factor it correctly. Let's do the bottom there. Look for a common factor. There isn't one. There are 3 terms. What times what makes x squared is x times x. What times what makes 4? And I also like to add before, so maybe 2 and 2. So let's check. That's 2x and 2x makes 4x in the middle. That's correct. All right, let's go top right. Look for a common factor. That's right, there's a 2 and an x. So if I factor out the 2 and one of the x's there, I'm left with x. If I factor out a 2 there, I'm left with 2, and I'm factoring out the x. If you like, it's 4 divided by 2 is 2, and the x got factored out. And then the bottom, look for a common factor. There isn't one, there's 3 terms, so we'll write it like that. Times what makes x squared is x times x. What times what makes 3? Wanted to add to make negative 4, so maybe negative 3 times negative 1. That multiplies to make positive 3. Let's check. That's negative x, and negative 3x makes negative 4x. Hey, we factored correctly. So now we need to multiply. Okay, watch very, very carefully. When we multiply fractions, we multiply across the top and bottom. So, oh, I multiplied. I made it one fraction. Okay. So now cancel anything that's on the top and on the bottom. X minus 1 is on the top and bottom. X plus 2 is on the top and bottom. And I think that's it. So we're left with 2x and x plus 4 on top, and the x plus 2 and x minus 3 on the bottom. And again, you have to cancel entire factors. Factors are things that are multiplied together. You can't just cancel, say, a 4 and the 2 on the bottom, or the 2 and the 2, because on the bottom the 2 is added to the x. X plus 2 is the whole factor. And no, you do not have to multiply these together. Why don't you try number 13? Pause. The answer should be x minus 3, x plus 3. All right, let's try dividing some rational expressions. When you divide fractions, you take the reciprocal and multiply. So you multiply by the reciprocal. Sound familiar? Well, let's try page 374, number 27. So if we're dividing, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So I'll multiply. This divisor is over 1, so it'll be 1 over that. So we took the reciprocal, now we're multiplying by it, which means we need to factor. So the top left there, it's look for a common factor. There's not one. It's 3 terms, so it's 2 sets of parentheses. What times what makes x squared is x times x. Times what makes negative 6. I like to add to make the negative 1. So maybe negative 3 times 2, which adds to make our negative 1 in the middle. On the bottom, there's no common factor, and it's not even squared, so that's already done. The 1 we can't factor. And on the bottom, it's 3 terms, no common factor. Say what times what is x squared? What times what is 9? Wanted to add to make negative 6, so maybe negative 3 and negative 3. Multiplies to make 9, adds to make negative 6. Multiply. Oh, hey, we multiplied. Now we can cancel things on top and bottom, such as an x minus 3, which means we're left with x plus 2 over x plus 4 and x minus 3. Why don't you pause this and try number 25? The answer you should get is 2. If you have combined operations, which means you're multiplying or dividing several things, you're going to do the first two, then get that result and work with the next one, and then so you're just doing two at a time.